Talk about a change of scenery. Yes, we are in Paris, France. You guys saw in our last couple of videos, we were in China and we loved our time in China. Going to the Great Wall was a bucket list item for the both of us. After almost 4 years in Southeast Asia, we were ready to switch it up. We could never make any of those places feel permanent. We enjoyed our time there, but we really weren't digging in. We really weren't trying to make a permanent life for ourselves. And truth be told, coming to France is a little bit scary for us. Getting visas in Mexico, in Thailand, in Portugal, for us, we didn't really have much to lose. There was really no risk for us. It was only reward. But coming to France, this is something that we could really want for ourselves. And we've been telling ourselves a different story all of these years. It's definitely easier to go for something when you don't have a really big stake in it. We were going to those other countries because, well, we knew we could get the visa. We knew we could go to those countries with ease, not have to put a lot of effort in, and the living was really, really easy. France is the complete opposite of that. And more to the point, this is something that we really, really want. So you guys might recall when we decided to come to Ho Chi Minh City last September. At that time, we also got the visitor visa to France. We applied for the long-term renewable visa, but they gave us the long-term 1-year visa that would have to be renewed back in the United States. And so that kind of shook us a little bit. And we thought, maybe we can't move to France. And so we took back off to Southeast Asia and went pretty much where it was safe and where we knew that everything would be relatively easy for us. Once we got into Ho Chi Minh City last fall, really our hearts just weren't in it. And after being abroad for so long, we're going on 6 years, give or take, this year, we decided to try to actually go for what we want instead of what we think is practical or what we can achieve. What I'm trying to say is it's time for us to put our big girl panties and big boy panties on and actually go for what we think we truly want, what is in our hearts. So when we left China, we actually spent a little time in Seoul, Korea, which was awesome. We basically just ate a lot of grilled pork and it was really good, and just kind of readjusted to being back in, I guess, what you would call a developed country, and just to kind of get our heads on straight before we made the leap over to France. We also called our time in Seoul a little bit of a decompression chamber, because really going from Southeast Asia to France, it's a pretty big leap as far as culturally, financially, like all of the things. We've been in Paris for about a week, and today is the first day that we've ventured out of the neighborhood we're staying in, and we wanted to come out to the Eiffel Tower just to remind ourselves that, hey, we're in Paris. We've been pinching ourselves all week and we can't believe we're here. We really don't have a solid plan about how we're going to make this work at all. But our goal at this point is to be here in France for the next several months on our visa, and hopefully we'll figure out a city that works for us, a city where we can likely see ourselves living, a city where we can find someone who will actually rent an apartment to us without French income, a French job, or French, whatever French things that we need to get an apartment. So I'll say two things. One, about our time in Southeast Asia and not being able to make it feel permanent. I don't know. I think in the end, when I think about it, even though we loved it, the lifestyle that we want, we just couldn't make it work there. For one, I love to be outside. I love spending time outside, and the weather, it was just too hot to be outside all of the time. And that really was a big factor. I never thought weather could really play such a role in making one of those decisions, but for us, it did. I will also mention the air quality. I talked about that in this video when we were back in Bangkok, and it continued to plague us this time as well. And so basically, it's just time for us to stop stalling and get some courage to go for what we actually want. We've had a love affair with France for the last 25 years at least, and you know, it has been really hard to admit to ourselves just how much we want this, because if we don't make it work, this one would really hurt. So basically, we're putting all of our knowledge and all of our experience we've gained over the years, and we're going to try to hone that knowledge and experience into success in living here in France. Now, I'm not going to lie, we're totally intimidated, but I think that's actually a good thing, because it'll make us work a little harder to try to achieve what we want. And let me also say, it makes a difference in our hearts thinking about learning a language that we would actually want to learn, instead of learning a language that we have to learn because we're in country X and that's the language they speak there. And let me say one thing about our idea of slow traveling. Those of you who have been watching for a while, those of you who have been with us for a while, we've tried it for the last 3 Januaries. Okay, not making a great effort to try it, a half-hearted effort to try it the last 3 Januaries, and it's just not who we are. We love a home base, and so we're hoping we can find that home base somewhere in this country of France. So we're really excited about this next chapter. We have no idea how this is going to turn out. In fact, we don't even know where we're going to be a month from now. We just know, starting out, we're treating ourselves to this time in Paris, and we'll be here for a few weeks, and we're going to figure it out as we go. So as always, thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.